In this section of the course, we'll be developing an entire website using the scripting languages we've explored. This is an example of what the completed project will look like. The website name is titled The Perfect Cup. The purpose of this website is to provide users with information about the company, which is a fictional coffee shop based out of Beverly Hills, California. The website also features a member access blog that provides a showcase of recipes for different types of coffee blends. The development of this website will require us to utilize many of the different development techniques we've learned throughout this course. Let's conduct a brief overview of the process from beginning to end. For the front-end layout of this website, we'll be using a Bootstrap theme. The theme can be downloaded from the link below. We've also included a copy of the theme in the Downloads folder. We'll need to make minor changes to the theme as we progress through the tutorial. As you can see, the theme is fully responsive to all devices. As I resize the browser, you'll notice that the navigation menu jumps to the top and the menu is collapsed. We can expand it by clicking this button. So you can see that the layout again is responsive. The website will consist of 4 main pages. Each page will have the web page title and address at the top, followed by a navigation menu. The content area of each page will be below the navigation menu, followed by a footer at the bottom of each page. The 4 pages include a home page, which is what we're looking at here, and the home page contains an image carousel that automatically transitions through 3 images. We also have an About page. This page will contain an embedded responsive YouTube video and images of the company staff members. So you can see that this video is responsive as I resize the browser window. The web page will also have a members-only blog that requires authentication in order to access. So I've just logged out, and if I click blog again, you'll notice that we get a message indicating that we must be logged in to view the blog. And the login requires a valid email address and password. For users that have not yet registered, they can click the Register Here button. And on the registration page, they need to complete their first name, last name, email address, and enter a password that they'd like to use to log in. The users will all be stored in a database after registration. So after this form is processed, all the data will be stored in a database. And the database will have the following structure. It'll have an ID field, which serves as an auto-incrementing primary key. It'll have an fname, lname, email, and password field, and that'll store all the data from our form. The registration form also has PHP validation with AJAX integration to display error messages without page refresh if the fields are not completed properly. So if I leave the entire form empty and click register, you'll notice that there's no page refresh, but an error message is displayed. And the same is true for each field. The first name requires more than 2 characters, and the same with the last name. The email address requires more than 4 characters, and the correct email format. So if I were to put an incorrect email format, you'll notice I get the email address is required error message. In addition to the validation, the plain text password will be encrypted before being stored into the database. And this will be done using the PHP bcrypt method, which is a very secure way of encrypting passwords, and we'll go through all that once we get to that stage. But just to show you what an encrypted password looks like in our database, this particular test user, the password entered was test0101, and you can see what it translates to once it's encrypted. So I'll just log into the blog to show you what the blog looks like. And again, this is just another test account. once the user is authenticated, they'll be greeted with a welcome message and an option to log out of the blog. This entire process is done using PHP session variables, and again, we'll get to that once we start our development as well. The actual blog has 3 blog posts. As you can see, each one has an image. There's also a read more button at the bottom of each blog post. So if we click read more, you can see a modal pops up and there's space for additional content relevant to that blog posting. And so that's it for the blog. It's fairly simple. Lastly, we have a contact page that includes an embedded map of the business location. So we've just put in a test address, 3481 Melrose Place, Beverly Hills. And we've embedded a Google Map image of this location. And we'll show you how to do that as well. At the bottom of this page, we have a contact form. And the contact form is processed using PHP. There's also validation using a combination of PHP and AJAX. To submit the data in this form to our email address, we'll be using a PHP library known as PHP Mailer to send emails to a specified email address using the SMTP protocol. So once the user fills out this form and clicks submit, PHP Mailer will transmit this data to an email address of our choice. And so that's the entire web page, and we'll go ahead and get started in the next lesson.